Welcome back. I'm prepared to be bedazzled because today I'm going to be shedding light on why working most real private sector employed jobs based on voluntary demand will never provide a person with enough money to be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living. So why is this happen to be the case, you may ask? Without further ado, without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to demystify the answer to that inquiry right here, right now. Lamentably, much of my dismay, much of my consternation, much of my chagrin, much of my grief, much of my agony, much of my agitation, and much of my irritation, most real private sector employed jobs based on voluntary demand are often deemed to be dead-end, highly contemplating, debilitating minimum wage, dispiriting, unfulfilling, undesirable, harrowing, distressful, brutally wretched, and ineffably agonizing jobs that not only dispossess an employee yet have a most of a sacrosanct time, but that also do not furnish them with anything close to even one-fourth of a subsistence wage for affording housing. Furthermore, most real private sector employers are keen on not offering any benefits nor pensions to the real private sector employees. Moreover, almost 100% of the profits that companies generate are reserved for their executives, shareholders, and external directors. Succinctly stated, if your emolument is capped at the minimum wage threshold by working most real private sector employed jobs based on voluntary demand, then it will not furnish you with enough fiat currency to be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living, which can bear sizable costs in this control market economy. If your remuneration is in the form of a minimum wage, then you will have a negligible amount of purchasing power, which will concomitantly, at most, be able to afford you a extremely low standard of living, which is not tantamount to an extremely low standard of living. In order to be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living, a person needs to earn enough fiat currency to not only be able to afford to pay the perpetually recurring rental fee, but also be able to afford to purchase a vehicle, purchase functional vehicle parts, incessantly purchase food, incessantly purchase fuel, incessantly purchase oil, as well as pay the perpetually recurring exorbitant auto insurance premium, as well as pay the perpetually recurring driver's license renewal fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring exorbitant vehicle registration fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring tire rotation fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring internet subscription service fee, as well as pay the perpetually recurring smartphone subscription service fee. So while you may be able to afford to cover some of the costs that are subsumed under the attainment of an extremely low standard of living, if you work most of your private sector employed jobs based on voluntary demand, you will not be able to afford to cover all the costs that are associated with attaining an extremely low standard of living. If you work most of your private sector employed jobs based on voluntary demand that cap your emolument at the minimum wage threshold, if your pay grade is capped at the minimum wage threshold, then you'll have an infinitesimal amount of purchasing power, and you will not be able to afford to attain an extremely low standard of living in this controlled market economy. I hope that you deem this video to be riveting, captivating, mesmerizing, insightful, intriguing, engrossing, informative, and amusing. I hope that you're entrenched in the unalloyed epicness. Thanks for watching. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.